Welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers in businesses, founders, CEOs, senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. So the goal is simple: to learn directly from the men who have done it so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives and continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high-performing men who have achieved success in their careers but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit along the way. We help busy professional men regain strength, energy, lose weight, and feel younger without long workouts, extreme dieting, or disrupting their demanding schedule. If you are a high-performing man who wants to feel as strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Jim DeLoach, who is the managing director for Protiviti, where he is a business consultant in the governance and risk management space. Jim, thank you so much for coming on today. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Jim, what's the most important lesson you've learned so far that's helped you become successful in your business?
Well, I think there's no substitute for hard work, a strong work ethic. I know that there's no sizzle about that, nothing terribly attractive by it, but I can't overemphasize it. To me, it's setting goals and objectives, focusing on what needs to be done to achieve those goals and objectives, and applying a strong work ethic to their accomplishment. And of course, it's a people business. And so interacting with people, building relationships, learning how to build trust, and having positive interactions
Right.
with people is also extremely important, because it requires you to leave your ego at the door,
Right.
and focus on how to help make people successful.
That's awesome. How long have you been with Protiviti?
Since its inception, John, we just recently celebrated our 24th anniversary since its inception in May of 2002. That's when a group of people set out to build a new organization that we all believed in. And since then, we have navigated and reshaped our firm in periods of growth, disruption, and reinvention. What has remained constant is our focus on quality of the people in the firm, and quality of what we offer to the market.
Wow. So you were part of the founding. I mean, you were there since the inception.
Yes, along with 50 others, we were founding managing directors of the firm.
Wow, that's great. And I'm sure you've seen some things change in the course of the year as things grow.
Absolutely. It's been quite a ride. I mean, we went through the Sarbanes-Oxley era. We went through the financial crisis of 2007, 2008, which was a brutal time period for everyone. We experienced all the focus on disruption of supply chains and the whole conversation around disruption, over the last 15 years. And now our firm, if you look at it now, I mean, the way we're embracing artificial intelligence and other technologies and making it integral to how we organize our business, how we organize our processes, how we approach or go to market. The change we have experienced is just never ceases to amaze me personally. I would not recognize our firm today, say 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, looking forward, I would not recognize firm today. So it's just been that amount of change. And of course, change is a trite word now. Everybody knows it there. Disruptive change is the name of the game. It's being resilient is the name of the game. Everybody knows that now. So it's just a matter of blocking and tackling in that regard.
Right. Wow. That's great. That is super. Okay. My next question. What do you think hinders a lot of men today from reaching their full potential?
I think, well, first of all, I think of men, I also think of women, because I will tell you right now, John, I, part of my transition, as I look back over my success, I've learned a lot working with women. I have to
Okay.
stress that at the outset. I think it was an important part of my personal growth. Because in the 1990s, I worked with a lot of women. And it was a personal growth period for me. And so, but I think that one of the key things that hinders growth is failing to shift from execution to enablement. So if you want to become a leader, you have to stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. You have to leave your ego at the door. You have to delegate effectively and enable your team to thrive instead of doing the work yourself. I mean, I think that's a huge part
You're right.
that can really hold people back until they figure out how to crack the code on that particular skill set.
Right. Because if you let your team or, I'm a high school coach in lacrosse coach, football and lacrosse. And if I ask my kids, even though they're high schoolers, and I let them know that they've got some say in it, okay, some input, okay, things go a lot better. But when it's just me, they don't like that. And I feel that's in the same in the business world. Let your team, let them know that they're wanted and or they're you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I know this is a trite phrase, but there's no I in
Yep.
routine. And let me put it this way. If you want to accomplish a lot, you've got to learn to collaborate with a lot of people. You have to focus less on your position in the hierarchy of the organization and focus more on how you can influence, maximize your sphere of influence within the organization. If you just focus on, myopically on on a task-oriented, executional-oriented way, you're not going to become a leader. You have to really
Right.
focus on how to broaden your perspective, to focus more broadly on how you can become an enabler, how you can influence people in a positive, constructive way. And let me tell you, when you're able to do that and you are totally aligned with the objectives that your leaders have set for the organization, believe me, you will be noticed. There's
Yeah.
no question about it.
How many employees you have now?
Say that again, John.
How many employees have you got? Have you grown?
Um, I want to say around 12,000, but I want to check that number, John, and get
Holy
back
man,
to
what did
you.
you start out at?
We started out with 650.
Wow.
But I need to check that number.
That's
But it's
still
around 12,000. When we started, John, we were just a U.S. firm,
wow.
650 people, and our competitors, who were the big four and other boutique consultancies, were saying, we won't last a year, but now today we serve clients and we operate in over 25 countries around the world.
Wow.
And I believe the number right now is around 12,000 people, but I want to verify that and get back to you on that.
That is what you call growth, man. That is,
We have been blessed.
man.
It's not, things are tough today, but we've had our spurts of growth over the years.
Yeah.
And technology has been a major part of becoming a $2 billion firm. Uh, Whereas when we started, we just had a book of business of about $16 million.
Wow.
And had to, for a quarterly basis, and had to regenerate that for the next quarter. So it was humble beginnings. But the beauty of what we've accomplished at Protiviti is that it gave the men and women who put their shoulders to the wheel on building the firm an opportunity to build a global brand.
Right.
And that is a different ballgame coming from an established organization which already has an established global brand. So now when you go out to the market, instead of people saying, what can you do for me? Because I know your firm, you go out to the market and people are saying, who are you? And so now it's like, you're seeking market permission, and that's a different ballgame. So it's been wonderful, a
Wow.
wonderful experience in that regard.
That's awesome, Jim. Wow. Congratulations, buddy. That's great. Man. Okay. My next question. For most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. What's been one of the areas of your life that has suffered, if there has been, but where would you like to be successful now too?
There is no question to that. There is to each their own as an integral part of responding to that point. Everyone has got to decide what they want to accomplish in life. So, I'm reminded of the scene in The Godfather when one crook is saying to another, this is the business we've chosen. And so I'm
Yeah.
just a point of everybody's got to decide what they really want to accomplish in the workplace and what price they're willing to pay. I have been blessed to be married now for 55 years.
Wow. Awesome.
So I've got kids, grandkids. It's they all and all of them have been very understanding of how hard I work, and frankly, I see it rubbing off
By
on
example, to
some of
your,
my kids and grandkids, and
yep.
so I think that's a good thing. I think a
Oh,
strong work ethic is a good thing. It sets a great example. I have a very understanding wife whose father drifted from one job to the next and was just miserable. He was a good man, my father-in-law, from one job to another, and he was never happy. And she just wanted me to be happy in what I was doing. And so um, my business my business career has taken me to over 30 countries on business.
wow.
We've traveled the world to over 50 countries. And so it's enabled she and I to do some things that we never dreamed we would be able to do when we got married. But I will tell you this, every year of this journey, I've always asked myself three questions every year, because you do not say in professional services, I'm going to stay here for the next 10 years. No one can ever say that. That's why I see a lot of people come and I see a lot of people go. But, the point is, there are three questions I've always asked. Am I having fun? Am I enjoying the people I'm working with? Am I learning? And that's three questions. And then I think the other important question, am I, is my compensation such that it provides me the quality of life that I
You are.
desire? When I ask those questions and I can answer all of them yes, then I go to the next year. And
That's awesome, Jim.
do
Boy,
the same thing, ask those questions again after the next year. So it's been a successive period of years where I think you got to ask those questions, because to the premise of your question, if you answer any of those questions, no, you got to take a hard look at what you're doing,
boy,
and
that's
maybe you need
awesome.
to be doing something differently. I mean,
Great insight.
did you think that's responsive to your question? Because it's an
Yes.
extremely
Oh,
balance of
absolutely.
life. It's an
Absolutely.
extremely important question. I have facilitated meetings of high performing people, John, men and
Mhm.
women, and we all agree the question you're raising is fundamentally the toughest question of our work lives. And everybody
Is
has to answer that question on their own.
on their own. Everybody's different. Yep.
Nobody else is going to answer them for them.
Look in the mirror, right?
I tell younger people, take your vacation, because nobody's going to tell you to take it. You have to own how you balance your work life. You have to own it.
Yep.
Nobody's going to do it for you.
That is so awesome, Jim. Thank you so much for that, man. My next question, and this is a one I always love to hear the answers on. Where do you find yourself at peace? Where do you go to decompress, to get away from the do you have a hobby? What do you like to do?
Um, See these books behind me?
Yes, I do.
This is my magic library. I have been a magician for decades, and I entertain from time to time. I take it very seriously as an art form. I collect antique magic, and so we do have other books, John. There's history books down there, that I've
Right.
collected that I'm going to read when I finally retire.
So
Okay,
you're a
but
magician, huh?
but magic is a major part of my life. Golf is a significant part of my life. We live off of a golf course. We enjoy looking at the
Right.
course and playing when we can, and of course, sporting events.
Right. When
Uh,
did you pick up
we
magic?
we go to sporting events often.
When did you pick up the magic?
My story about my journey in magic is just like a lot of magicians. They're young, when they're impressionable, they see a magician, and it inspires them to want to do magic. I have a hearing impairment, and magic helped me develop confidence addressing
Awesome.
larger groups.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of management of groups, and there's misdirection involved. There's group management involved. There's projecting sincerity across the footlight that you are entertaining. You're not being a wise guy.
Right.
Nobody likes that. So it's not challenging. It's relaxing. It's fun. It's humorous. In fact, my persona that I try to project when I do magic is that I'm just as amazed when these things happen as everybody else is. So I'm not trying to fool anybody. I'm just
Right. That is
doing
so
stuff
cool,
and
man.
wow, how in the world did that happen? Golly. So anyway, those are, I have my man cave. We have, that we my wife and I will watch movies, and I'll practice some magical effects while I'm watching it, digesting the movie, multitasking. Those kinds of things, spending time with my family, are ways that I decompress. And
Beautiful.
my
Oh,
family is very supportive, and they love to
great.
see me. They love to see me perform. By the way, so
Good. How many times a year you perform for them?
uh, I probably maybe uh, 5 or 6 times a year.
That's great,
And
man.
then maybe there might be 2 or 3 formal performances that I might do each year.
That
So
is so cool,
I
man.
don't
That is,
perform as often as I'd like, but I don't have a lot of time either. So,
that is, that is so cool. Great. Oh
but
my,
when I do perform, I do try to carefully think out what I'm going to do, and I practice the routine and show very hard to make sure it goes over well. So I'm not. I like to I like to perceive that while I'm an amateur magician, I try to take a professional approach to it.
that's awesome. I tell you, that is really cool. I mean, that a magician. You're my first. You're my first, man. Well, Jim, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. Man, you were a very interesting man. Okay.
Well, thank you
Uh,
very much. I enjoyed the conversation.
yes, and that's what it's all about is learning from other men, okay, and learning from what they done, get the insights, and put it into their own businesses, okay, and professional life and personal life. You know what I mean? This is all wrapped up into one. So, and as a reminder to everyone listening on this show, it is brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where we help high performing men rebuild strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing your careers. If you are ready to feel strong in your body as you are successful in your business, message me at John Fayocavitz on LinkedIn. Until our next episode, perform strong in all areas of your life.